A report released this week finds that 45% of American households don't earn enough to cover their basic necessities, and a single $1,000 increase in annual living costs would tip $3 million more over the edge. Prediction markets and sports betting apps are recruiting users as young as 18 using memes, leaderboards, and gamification designed by the same people who build video games. And flight attendants are publicly asking passengers to stop poking them. Consider this your weekly wrap. New side quest starts now. The Brookings Institution published a new affordability report this week that I want to give the full treatment it deserves because the numbers in it are the clearest picture I've seen of where American household finances actually stand, not as an economic abstraction, but as a daily lived condition. In 2024, 45% of U.S. households did not earn enough to cover their necessities. The report concluded that a mere $1,000 increase in the annual cost of living would leave another 3 million households unable to make ends meet. I want to say that clearly, $1,000 a year, that's just $83 a month. That's roughly the difference between a grocery bill that works and one that doesn't, or a utility spike in a cold winter, or a car repair you didn't budget for. And 3 million households are sitting close enough to the edge that that's the gap. The gap between inflation and wages is the core driver. In 2024, national wages saw just a 1.3% bump, well below the 2.9% inflation rate that year. And the income growth that did happen went almost entirely to higher earners. Higher income families saw a pay raise of 6% in April compared to a year earlier. Lower earners got 1.5%. Economists have started calling this the K-shaped economy. One line going up, one line going down, and if you've been listening to this show for the past 2 months, you've heard the pattern show up in a dozen different forms. The lead researcher put it plainly, my takeaway is that when we talk about affordability, we've been focusing on inflation, but inflation is only part of the problem. The deeper issue is the gap between what things cost and what people earn. To make matters worse, more workers are raiding their 401ks. Early withdrawals, the ones that carry a 10% penalty on top of income taxes, are rising. We covered this when we talked about Gen X retirement in May. More than half expected to tap retirement savings early to cover near-term costs. That's not a future concern, it's happening right now. To paraphrase Ernest Hemingway, how do you go bankrupt? Gradually, then suddenly. The gradually part has been going on for years. The data is now clear enough that it's worth naming directly. What was the moment you realized the financial margin in your life had gotten smaller than you thought it was? Not the abstract version, the specific thing. The number that was different from what you expected, the bill that landed differently than it used to.
I declare bankruptcy!
The Associated Press published an investigation this week that connects dots I've been watching for all month. The sports betting data, the gamification research, the teen anxiety numbers, and the picture it assembles is worth spending some time on. Prediction markets and sports betting apps have been expanding aggressively into younger audiences. The recruitment strategy is sophisticated. Platforms like Kalshi and Polymarket use meme-style social media posts to build brand awareness among younger users. When Rory McIlroy won the Masters, Kalshi posted, "Wait, he's goated." When a video of Damian Lillard recovering from an injury circulated, Polymarket posted, "The league is cooked." These posts aren't about the bets, they're about being fluent in the language of the audience they want to attract. Some sports wagering platforms are available to users as young as 18, despite most states restricting traditional gambling to 21 and older. The entry point is designed to be low, a few dollars to place your first prediction, because, as one expert put it, the hardest wager to get is the first wager. Once users are in, gamified features keep them there. Leaderboards, challenges, rewards, video game-like visual designs. Adrian Hahn, a game designer and author of You've Been Played, explained, "They tighten the loop of setting a bet and getting the feedback. It makes it more visceral, more exciting, more real-time." The brain science underneath this is the part that genuinely concerns the researchers. Timothy Fong of the UCLA Gambling Studies Program, which is apparently a thing, said that intentionally or not, these platforms expose young users to highly stimulating, highly novel, highly intense things. And a young brain that's not fully formed, that's going to leave a significant mark, and that brain is going to want it again. Financial educator Paris Woods framed the long-term cost clearly. It's not just about eroding the present and taking their hard-earned money at 18 or 19. It's actually taking money out of that 40 or 50-year-old version of themselves. Of course, you could always solve the problem by gamifying not using the apps. The mechanism, small rewards, variable payoffs, social comparison, works regardless of what behavior it's attached to. The industry figured that out. The question is whether anyone figures out how to run it in reverse. Have you ever been pulled into something through the fun of it before you realized what it actually was? The thing that was enjoyable right up until the moment you understood the full picture. Could be gambling, could be something else entirely.
The only monster here is the gambling monster that has enslaved your mother. I call him Gamblor, and it's time to snatch your mother from his neon claws!
The Washington Post published a piece this week that is both a public service announcement and a window into a deeply weird social phenomenon. Flight attendants across the industry are asking passengers, formally, publicly, with lanyards and buttons and podcast episodes, to please stop physically touching them to get their attention. Michelle Montanez, a flight attendant for 20 years, said barely a flight goes by where someone doesn't poke, tap, prod, or otherwise touch her. It's almost a rare occurrence when it doesn't happen, she said. Her colleague, Darian Foy, who co-hosts the Jump Seat Chronicles podcast with her, said he's been pinched on his rear end multiple times. Sam Wilkins, a flight attendant for 28 years and a union official at Southwest, explained what the appropriate alternative looks like. You probably wouldn't go into a restaurant and poke your waitress. You wouldn't go into a coffee shop and grab the shirt of your barista. She said the best way to get a flight attendant's attention is simply to use your voice. Say, "Excuse me," followed by a gesture or wave if needed. I can't think of any other profession where randos regularly come up and poke you to get their attention. It genuinely seems like something about being in an airplane suspends the normal social rules people apply literally everywhere else. The flight attendant is right there. They're moving through a narrow aisle. You're seated and they're 3 inches away. And apparently a significant portion of passengers respond to this proximity by just poking them. There's a broader point worth making, which is that flight attendants are safety professionals first and customer service workers second. They're trained in evacuations, first aid, CPR, and security. Their primary job is to keep you alive if something goes wrong, not to bring you a Diet Coke. The physical touching, especially the ones that cross into inappropriate territory, is a violation of that professional context in a way that most passengers probably don't consciously register. But I also want to be fair to the mild version of this, which is people who are genuinely trying to get attention and have not registered that the touch is unwelcome. These people need to know, use your voice. It works. The flight attendant can hear you. What's the most bizarre or unexpected thing a stranger's ever done to get your attention on a plane, in a store, anywhere, and what happened next? Remind me to tell you about the time I immediately quit working for a client after they snapped their fingers to get my attention.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Episode 6 of the Titanic series on SideQuest is up now, covering life at sea in the days before the accident. If you've been meaning to start the series, this is a great weekend to do it from the top. Free condensed version for everybody, extended cut for paid subscribers. Find it wherever you get your podcasts or at newsidequest.com.
Would you like to know more?
A man in Pennsylvania was arrested after allegedly demolishing his family home with an excavator following a domestic dispute in which his wife told him their marriage was over. The home was largely destroyed. I'm not here to judge, but I feel like the wife might have a point here. The excavator was subsequently impounded.
Yipes.
Parents at a kindergarten graduation ceremony in Toledo, Ohio, got into a physical brawl over seating. 5-year-olds watched adults fight over chairs at an event celebrating the 5-year-olds. Maybe the kids could teach the adults how to use their words. The irony is genuinely complete.
Tell
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
A woman in Florida looked out her window and saw a rhesus monkey in her backyard. She told reporters she had to blink, rub her eyes, and look again. Wildlife officials were called. The monkey was eventually located. This is clearly promotional content for the latest Planet of the Apes prequels. Florida continues to exceed expectations.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
An influencer was banned from Cedar Point and Six Flags parks after posting a video of himself eating chicken nuggets on a roller coaster. The parks have policies against consuming food on rides. I thought this used to be America. I want to also say that eating chicken nuggets at speed on a roller coaster is a commitment that almost warrants respect on technical grounds alone.
I thought this was America! Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America!
That's it for a new side quest, and that's also a wrap for May. 3 questions to close out the week and the month, the moment you realized your financial margin was smaller than you thought. Something you got pulled into through the fun of it before you saw the full picture, and the most bizarre thing a stranger's ever done to get your attention. Email me at newsidequest@gmail.com or the Substack comments. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday.